those of you who have followed me on YouTube up until June of last year know that I don't like hypocrisy. I don't like the fact that people use their voices and their platforms to spread misinformation or just flat out lie and cause division. Now I know there are going to be people out here going to say, "Aren't you guys doing this?" And we not. Black folk don't do this. I think some of our brothers and sisters mean well. They just been misinformed. But then again, I think about it. There's some in our community who do participate in misinformation. The only problem is that they usually go to the other side and they get covered. And any one of us that push back, even if we got facts, even if you got video and audio, people are still going to believe what they're going to believe. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I knew about Charlie Kirk for a while, but since Trump's first administration, this dude and got more. Charlie Kirk got more and more popular, and it troubles me that he has been able to go on college campuses and brainwash these young men and women. But then again, I think it would be an insult and wouldn't be fair to him to put all that on Charlie because you had to be susceptible or believe that shit to entertain the bullshit that he put out. Charlie Kirk was a hateful dude. And there are people out here going to defend Charlie. They're going to rationalize. They're going to try to rewrite history. They're going to try to compare him to people that he shouldn't be compared to. And people are trying to compare him to Dr. King. They even mentioned Malcolm X. Now, for a long time, Malcolm X was persona non grata in society. I don't think until the internet, people start putting documentaries out and stuff started leaking out from the federal government and local governments about Malcolm because his image had been severely twisted. And you have other black folk like it have been accused of anti-white or more so anti-Semitic behavior. Now the black community don't get down with anti-Semitism, but yet we have been accused of it, and certain individuals in the black community who have a strong voice, a presence, or those who have went out here and fought on behalf of our people. Now, the reason why I mentioned Charlie Kirk, the reason why I mentioned Semitism is because on the right, this has been this push more so in the last 20 years to paint the black community as the villain of the story. But thanks to the internet, and I think a lot of people need to have a come Jesus moment and start to apologize to certain members of the black community that we warned y'all about a certain group, a fringe group within the Jewish community who are standing right next to these right-wing extremists peddling lies and misinformation. This is one of the reasons why I got the image of Rabbi Shmuley up. Now, if you guys are familiar with Rabbi Shmuley, you already know his history. But those of you who don't, this man moves in circles that most of us will probably with envy. And what I mean is, this man has been around a lot of celebrities. And one celebrity in particular that he was known to be around was Michael Jackson. Now, we all know that brother Michael was taken advantage of, manipulated, lied on, lied to. And there were a lot of people around him that he trusted that he shouldn't have. And Rabbi Shmuley was one of them. When Michael Jackson died, Michael Jackson's body was even cold 4 hours. And this man was on TV attacking Michael Jackson's father, his mother, and his siblings. Now, I want to remind y'all, this man stood by Michael Jackson And let me pull up an image so you guys won't think that I'm bullshitting you. Let me see. Y'all bear with me for a second. Where's the image at? Bear with me. Let's see. What's going on? Oh, here we go. Well, I'm gonna get to this part. Y'all need to, this is the image y'all need to see. Where is it? Oh, this is it. Here you go. Rabbi Shmuley is just 60 years old. Okay. This is him with Michael Jackson. Okay. I mean, everywhere Michael went, he was there. Now, I want to remind you that Rabbi Shmuley and others at a particular point in Michael Jackson's life, and I don't know if Michael wasn't aware of it, or he forgot about it, or he just wanted people to leave him alone, but they was calling Michael Jackson an anti-Semite. Okay? And Rabbi Shmuley was one of them. And when Michael died, Rabbi Shmuley inferred that Michael Jackson, when he did that song, They Don't Care About Us, he went on MSNBC and CNN. He was talking mad shit about Michael. He even said that Michael was a pedophile. Yeah, it's video out there, and like I said, I don't mention this shit without backing up, because it's out there. You might have to do a deep dive because Michael Jackson passed away 2009. But if you go out there, it's somewhere out in the internet. And knowing some of y'all some sleuths, y'all find it because they say the internet's forever. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because this man betrayed Michael Jackson. And when some of us said, yo, dude, how you going to slam the dude, Michael Jackson? He trusted you, and you went out there and got on TV. The man wasn't even deceased. You didn't care that his mother, his father, his siblings, his nieces and nephew had to hear this shit. But that's the kind of person Shmuley is. He don't give a damn. He's an opportunist. And he is that stereotype about you can't trust Jewish folk. They money hungry and power hungry. That's a stereotype. And Jewish folk, they get really offended by that. And I can understand that. But let's keep it real. Just like in the black community, we got good, we got bad. Just like in any other community, we got good, got bad. In the Jewish community, they got good and bad. And a lot of times they bad are in positions of authority and power and decisions makings. And I know there's gonna be somebody who's gonna say, "Oh man, you're an anti-Semite." No, I'm not. I don't subscribe to anti-Semitism. I don't want to see anybody be attacked or harmed because of their religious beliefs. But we gotta be honest. In the black community, we know this, we know better. But anytime anybody in our community say anything criticizing somebody Jewish, you're called anti-Semite. Now I know there are gonna be people gonna say, oh, don't blacks say anything with racism? Not all the time. Even when we know it's racism, we like sometimes you ain't gonna win this battle. The people gonna hear what they're gonna hear. But the thing is, if you call out any behavior from those who have done misdeeds or said misdeeds, first thing they say, then we have found an NWCP. What about the two civil rights workers? And I keep telling y'all, that's all y'all got to hang y'all head on. That's not a good record. Those two young men who died helping brothers and sisters get registered to vote in the black community, we respect them, we honor them. It's sad that they lost their lives, but it was a young black man with them as well. They didn't deserve to die, but to use them to keep us from criticizing certain members of that community, it's wrong. It's mean spirit. It's opportunistic. It's morbid. And to keep talking about the NWCP, but y'all set up here and help hamper the NWCP, slam it in the media, you full of it. Now, the reason why I'm bringing up Rabbi Shmuley is that this man is quick to call black people anti-Semitic. And let me say this again to my brothers and sisters out here. And I hope those out there who got a big platform, can y'all stop accusing Kanye West of being an anti-Semite? He's not an anti-Semite. Y'all remember, Kanye West had been under attack by those in the press and media. And when you go back and look at the names of who was doing what, you'll say, well, I now can see why he lashed out. They know the man is bipolar. They've been poking at him and poking at him and poking at him. And Rabbi Shmuley is one of them. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like the guy. This guy is slick. He has not a decent bone in his body. And I don't want anybody who's Jewish thinking I'm out here attacking the community as a whole. No, I'm calling out particular behaviors. Just like with Charlie Kirk and Nick Fuentes, and Nick Fuentes is not white. He is a Hispanic. If we're going to talk about these people, you better have facts and you better get it right. These people sit back out here and they play both sides. And they sit out here and they try to vilify black Americans. Rabbi Shmuley is a racist. Okay? Plain and simple. We know we can't stand Candace Owens. But the moment she got off cold, because remember when she was out there with Ben Shapiro and them talking about black folk, people like Rabbi Shmuley and Ben Shapiro and Dennis Prager and rest of them, they loved that ass. But as soon as she had a aha moment of conscience about what's going over there with Israel and in Palestine, she became an anti-Semite. And he went on TV and said that Candace Owens come from a line of anti-Semites. He said the black community is anti-Semitic. This is his words. Y'all was cool with Candace Owens as long as she was talking shit about black folk. But the moment she went off script, now she's an anti-Semite, and the black community is attached to her when she ran away from the community. And so the community still does. But see, when that shit went down with Kyrie Irving and Kanye West, and then Dave Chappelle, they brought him in at the end of the year, but they were slamming the black community. I told you, I said he's out there, should never be pointing fingers at somebody's hatred or alleged hatred, because we got receipts on his ass. Check this out. Who is that he's standing next to, smiling? If you don't know, that's Steve Bannon. And the reason why I say if you don't know, I'm coming to find out that a lot of people, not just in our community, but in society, period, are oblivious to who are the movers shakers in this country. Steve Bannon is a white supremacist. Steve Bannon and them is the reason why Trump, one of the reasons why Trump has gone so hardcore. Now, I'm not saying that Trump is innocent, because Trump has been racist for a long ass time. But people like Steve Bannon have stood next to Trump, whispering to this man's ear. This man has said some anti-black shit. This man has said shit about Israel, but yet you have people like Rabbi Shmuley, because they want power, they want money and power, and you have Christian nationalists. They all in the bed together, which is crazy when you think about them. They all don't really like each other. But when it comes down to critics going after people, call them out on it, they throw out reverse racism, or they say you're an anti-Semite, or you unpatriotic, blah blah blah. Now, you guys don't have to believe me, but like I said, I can send you links or tell you to go search Steve Bannon. Listen to YouTube, Steve Bannon hate racism, and watch the shit pop up. And listen to the video. Now, there are going to be people out here who going to listen but not be listening, because yesterday, and I've mentioned this before, my former CO, he comes on my social media feed, and he's like, tell me how Charlie Kirk is racist. And I said, dude, you joking, right? And told him, well, all the things he said, well, those are snippets. Those taken out of context. You don't know him. And that's the thing. They assume that black folk are not aware of what's going on around us. How in the fuck do you think our people survive all this shit? We have to be aware of what people are saying and doing. So I sent him a link, and he was dismissive of it. Because even when you show him proof of these men and women who are in power or seek power or have money, who seek more money, they're manipulative. Like I was warning people before with Elon Musk, and people was dismissive, and now we get crickets from everybody. See, the thing is, black folk, we have a moral conscience of not just America but the world, and a lot of stuff that we didn't warn people about have come true. A lot of the things we told people to listen for has come true. Let me say this again. Go listen to these guys' own words. I've had some people say, oh, that's AI. And that's the reason why I have issue with AI. But if you can't tell the difference between AI, it's so wrong with you. These guys said a lot of hateful shit and attacked a lot of people, and people's careers were tanked. They were destroyed. And Rabbi Shmuley was right there. How can you call out somebody accuse somebody of being anti-Semitic or who are anti-Semitic, but you stand next to a rabid white supremacist? It don't make any sense. And guess who else Rabbi Shmuley hangs around? Ari Emanuel, Brahm Emanuel. You see this pattern that's forming, folks? This is why when that shit went down and they overplayed their hand, they woke a lot of people up that was asleep. But then when October 7th happened, they overplayed their hand again, and the sympathy that they had started to wane. And every day, people are seeing that, look, why are they doing this? Why are they poking the bell? Why are they dropping bombs on people? Why are they starving people? And you got Rabbi Shmuley out here trying to justify this shit. But remember I told you, he's an opportunist. He's a grifter, right? Well, guess what he did? Let me see. Where's that at? Let me see. I want y'all to hear this. And bear with me. Hopefully you can hear it well. Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Okay? He was assassinated. And Rabbi Shmuley couldn't wait to get on a goddamn grift. He wasn't even pronounced dead yet. But this dude decided, I think that's Shmuley's wife right there, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's his wife, if I believe. If it's not, I apologize if I was mistaken. But anyway, I want you to see how chummy he is. Look how chummy he is with Steve Bannon. But Rabbi Shmuley is so pro-Israel. Rabbi Shmuley, and I'm putting this image up. You see what they said, grifting out Charlie Kirk shooting. I want y'all to listen to this audio, because this dude has no fucking shame.
Hi, everyone. I'll have to make this comment from a hospital where I am right now, but I know Charlie Kirk extremely well. We've been friends for more than a decade. As we pray for his complete recovery in his life, we should all be praying. I have to say I'm not in any way surprised or shocked. The culture of demonization, especially pro-Israel activists, and he's so pro-Israel on campus, is becoming lethal. And
now, we all know that, but anybody who was common sense, we knew when Charlie Kirk was shot, we knew it wasn't a black person. We knew it had nothing to do with Israel. But Rabbi Shmuley always found a way to bring it back to Israel. And you heard what he said, that he and Charlie Kirk been friends for a decade. Charlie Kirk is 31 years old. That means when he was 21, when he just got started with that turning point in USA. Let me remind y'all, Charlie Kirk is from the Chicagoland area. I believe he grew up in Naperville, out west, northwest. Okay. What did I tell y'all years ago about this dude? Charlie Kirk wasn't even dead, pronounced dead yet, and he was online grifting. When Michael Jackson died, he went out there and badmouthed Michael Jackson and the man's family. Charlie Kirk was a rabid anti-black racist. Charlie Kirk lied and said that Trayvon Martin was hunting down George Zimmerman. Charlie Kirk sat there and talked about black men as we're the most violent, but he was murdered by a white guy that was from a MAGA family. I want y'all to understand that. I want y'all to understand that Charlie Kirk went to college campuses. He didn't sit down and argue with grown ass men. He argued with students who are between 18 and 24, 25 years old. I want you to think about that for a second. He knows that these young men and women who grew up in particular environments, they're going to have certain beliefs. But this man has stood down. He stood at Steve Bannon. He's defended Donald Trump. This dude has sat back here and got on TV and said the black community got a problem with anti-Semitism. I want you to think about this. So those of you who are white, those of you who are Charlie Kirk supporters, shouldn't this turn your stomach upside down? But yet y'all got fired for black folk. This dude has no shame, folks. This man is no earthly good. Let me remind y'all, he was all up on Michael when he was alive. The moment Michael died, he threw Michael Jackson under the bus. He talked about his family. He said, make sure those kids are not around. Make sure that the Jackson family don't get none of Michael Jackson's estate. This man is accused the black community of anti-Semitism when the black community does not practice anti-Semitism. But you heard, I hope y'all, I'm going to play it again. He said Charlie Kirk was a close friend. Given all the hateful shit that Charlie Kirk has said, he called him a friend. But let a black person say anywhere close to what Charlie Kirk has said about Jewish folk, he will go on a warpath. Let me say this again. All the people since Charlie Kirk got shot have shown their ass. Liberal, conservative, whether they're extreme on the right or there's no, I can't say extreme on the left. I can't. I really can't. Because the extreme on the left doesn't exist like on the right. Now, the reason why this shit needs to be pointed out is because y'all need to understand who is behind the scenes manipulating people. Who's keeping the drama going. Charlie Kirk got killed by another Republican, a MAGA Republican. As soon as Charlie Kirk got assassinated, everybody started looking at the black community. He went to the whitest state in the union, and somehow the black community is being attacked or being criticized. And let me say this again. I got to be careful how I say this. I don't wish anybody harm like that, but at the same time, Charlie Kirk didn't care about us being harmed. But he put that negative energy out and he came back and bit him on the ass. His very last word was taking a dig at the black community, black men in particular. And the irony is a white person shot his ass. Charlie Kirk ended up sat back and talked about George Floyd like a dog. And Rabbi Shmuley is saying, my friend, my good friend. This is who you hang out with, Rabbi Shmuley. It proves what I and others have said about this dude. And many others. What is it going to take for people in this country, especially, but around the world, to realize there is a small group of human beings that keep more pain and destruction and hate going because y'all figure they on TV, they get to go sit up there in Congress or Senate, or or stand around the Oval Office, or live in these expensive ass places across the country. That these are good people. Y'all need to understand that there's a small group of human beings on this planet that keep more death and destruction and upheaval. And those of us who don't get out of our comfort zones and learn to talk to each other, learn to stand with each other, because we got more in common than we think. But because for nearly 500 or so, maybe more, these motherfuckers been in power, they would do anything to hold on to it. Let me say this again. I'm not shedding no tears on no Charlie Kirk, because Charlie Kirk celebrated our people death. It's video, audio of him saying shit, and motherfuckers are out here saying, you misheard him. He was a good man. But you get a rabbi who has bitched and moaned about people being anti-Jewish, has destroyed their reputations, is out here saying, my good friend Charlie Kirk, I've known him for over a decade. Are you kidding me? But the disgusting part is the man wasn't even pronounced officially dead, and you out here grifting, and he's using Israel as a front. Charlie Kirk did that day at the campus. He wasn't talking about Israel. He was talking about transsexuals and the black community and the violence. Let me say this again. Has he spoken about Israel at times? Yeah, but no. He's usually talking about other human beings' frailties or weaknesses. Or maybe that's not the best way to describe it. People that he don't like feel that's normal. And he got assassinated by one of his own. And instead of y'all looking in and saying, yo, it's something wrong with us leaning this way politically or thinking this way in society, y'all come lash out at us, and this motherfucker go out here and get on the grip. You can't make this shit up. This man went around and said that Steve Bannon is a close friend, but Steve Bannon can't stand his ass. Look how Steve Bannon looking at that picture. He looks so uncomfortable. Look at Rabbi Shmuley got that big ass smile. If y'all ever seen Steve Bannon with certain people he know, you can see when he smiles, he got that big smile, see little rotten ass teeth he got in his mouth. But Rabbi Shmuley like he constipated. And Shmuley is he's so opportunistic, he will sit there and defend these people. But yet he'll call a black person anti-Semite, but you didn't call two white supremacists your pal. You can't make this shit up, people.
I'm from a hospital where I am right now, but I know Charlie Kirk extremely well. We've been friends for more than a decade. As we pray for his complete recovery in his life, we should all be praying. I have to say I'm not in any way surprised or shocked. The culture of demonization, especially pro-Israel activists, and he's so pro-Israel on campus, it's become lethal. And I live with lethal threats every day of my life, and it shocks my wife and my children and all the people around me.
On the day that Charlie Kirk was shot and killed at a public event at a Utah University campus, and before he was announced dead. Rabbi Shmuley proved yet again just how disgusting he really is. He exploited the situation to not only spread propaganda, but to raise money, literally for himself. I'm not exaggerating. So in an X post yesterday, Rabbi Shmuley wrote, "Today, as we witnessed yet another attempt to silence pro-Israel voices, we are reminded of the constant threats facing Rabbi Shmuley. For years, he has stood boldly for Israel and the Jewish people, yet he has been physically assaulted in Vienna, Miami, Sydney, and even in Times Square. The dangers are real, and they only continue to grow. To ensure his safety and his ability to continue this vital work, we urgently need to raise funds for cameras, fencing, and professional security personnel. Without these protections, Rabbi Shmuley and his family remain exposed to unacceptable risks." So I'm guessing that the dildo business isn't bringing in the money, so he's got to capitalize on a tragic event to raise money for his own security.
Oh, yeah, if y'all didn't know, he got a dildo business. A Jewish dude. Now, this is where people say you play into a trope or stereotype. They will criticize everybody else's lifestyle, but they be behind the scenes, behind that filthy ass rap that's been pushed on our people for nearly the last 37 years, almost 40 years, folks. All the questionable images you see in movies, all the hateful things that come out of Hollywood, all the racist shit that's been said, people like Rabbi Shmuley are behind. But when you call them out, you're an anti-Semite. And notice that Anna Kasparian, this is her voice. Y'all know I warned y'all about Anna Kasparian and GQ. But since all this shit went down October 7th, and people are starting to say, wait a minute, maybe they were the villains of the story. We warned y'all. We warned y'all, and let me make this clear. There are people that I know who are Jewish, who don't agree with stuff that Rabbi Shmuley and these people like your Ari Emanuel's in them of the world. They don't get down with that. So I don't want nobody saying that all Jewish people get down like that, because you have people in the Jewish community are starting to call out this behavior more and more. And I'm glad they are. Because people like myself, yourself, we say something, we get labeled as an anti-Semite, and not one time have I ever promoted hatred towards a Jewish person. I don't get down like that. We can have disagreements, but my thing is that this man has no shame. This man will make money and be critical of everybody else's lifestyles. But this motherfucker sell dildos. I'm not lying. This is just what I heard about. Like, you gotta be kidding me. It's just like those people that come in, people outside our community that come into the predominantly black neighborhoods and sell all that liquor and filth, but they wouldn't purchase that shit. You couldn't go in their neighborhood selling that. This is why I call people like him opportunists. This is why I'm begging people to start paying attention to who and what companies or media companies are promoting these questionable images. Let me say this again. If anybody out there, and I hate to say it, there's some black folk out here who are sympathetic to Charlie Kirk. Because a friend of mine, she shocked the fuck out of me. Why are y'all making fun of Charlie? Why aren't y'all showing sympathy? I said, you know what Charlie Kirk is? She said, I just found out about it. I said, you need to go watch some of his videos before you bleed your heart. Well, what happened to him was wrong. Nobody should die. Well, when you go listen to his videos and you think about all the murder and mayhem for the last decade or so, because remember, he's only 31. Let me say this again. He's only 31. He was born 1993. He's a 90s baby. I want y'all to understand this. This dude turned 18. Since he's been 18, that dude spread nothing but hatred and lies. And you got people in this country think that the man was a saint. But it says more about them than us. And all the video you got, you even have to play the audio, the video. And Rabbi Shmuley is saying, that's my friend. Didn't I tell y'all about this dude? I told y'all about this dude for the last decade. I sit there and I say, you know, I'm just going to play their own words. I'm not going to go out here and because a lot of people say, well, you probably misinterpret. And yeah, those are things, people, you can misinterpret shit, but this is why I like playing the audio back. This is why these websites don't want you showing video. Why you think these people get caught with their hand in the cookie jar, don't want you recording? Because you caught them in the act. I keep telling y'all, document shit. Record. If you can do it, do it. Because these people that sat back and had a nerve entirely too long. Let me say this again. When Michael Jackson died, Michael Jackson's body wasn't even cold 4 hours. He was on MSNBC and CNN, bad mouthing Michael. Go type in Rabbi Shmuley talks about Michael Jackson. He called him a pedophile, but you saw the images where he was standing with him holding birthday cakes and Michael's my friend. Like on the internet, you got a deep dive. They try to hide these images of Shmuley and banging. And let me say something to my brothers and sisters. Y'all say, oh, voting don't matter. Yes, it does. Because we done let these people get power. And these motherfuckers, these motherfuckers are authoritative. And you would think Rabbi Shmuley could sit here always talking about the Holocaust and anti-Semitism. You would think he would want to stay far away from people like this. But when you touting Steve Bannon and Charlie Kirk as your friend, they basically proving what a lot of us have pointed out. And you got a lot of motherfuckers have become Johnny come lately who are now criticizing people like this. And let me say this again. I am not a fan of Candace Owens. Because they was cool with her ass as long as she's talking shit about black folk. But the moment she had a moment of clarity, moment of sympathy, that she don't even show for her own people, they threw her under the bus. And he was one of them. Don't believe me? Type in Piers Morgan, Candace Owens, and Rabbi Shmuley, and you listen, your mouth gonna drop. This motherfucker grifting. This is what he does. He grifts. Charlie Kirk's body wasn't even cold. He wasn't even pronounced dead. And the motherfucking boy. And people mad at us. And we're the villains of the story. Grifting up. I mean, you can't make this shit up.
Security.
I just want to be clear. They're kosher dildos.
Oh, okay. I mean, look, I have no problem with the sale of dildos if that's what you're into, but I do have a problem.
Because you're using Anna.
Look, I do have a problem with exploiting something tragic to make money for yourself. Now, the tweet included a link to a GoFundMe and other links talking about the attacks he's faced, meaning that Rabbi Shmuley has faced, alongside this photo. And as you can imagine, people were not pleased with what Rabbi Shmuley did yesterday. And I am happy to announce that he hasn't really raised anything close to the $500,000 goal that he has. So let's take a look at a screenshot of that. So as of producing this story, he had only raised $756 out of $500,000, meaning $500,000 is his goal. He's trying to raise This is crazy. Like, this is crazy, right? Am I being unfair?
No. Are you kidding me? It's Rabbi Shmuley. Of course it's crazy. Who sells kosher dildos and defends genocides? Unfortunately, that last one, a lot of people are doing.
Listen. Yeah. People need dildos, okay? People need dildos, including religious people who are only kosher. No judgment on that.
Yeah.
But,
my God, if that was their only issue, that would be amazing.
Totally.
Yeah. So, look, he has no bounds. And I mean, he's kind of famous for that. So when I debate him on this Israel issue, usually the number one comment in the comment section is from other supporters of Israel saying, "Why did you bring out Rabbi Shmuley? He makes us all look so bad," right? And so I've had good debates with him. I've had disastrous debates with him, but it's beyond the pale. But also, there's this underlying non-acknowledgement too that here's one of the top defenders of the genocide in Gaza, and he's like, "Oh my God, somebody bumped into me in Times Square. My life is in danger," right? So Charlie Kirk's life obviously was in danger, and he did get killed. Was it because of the Israel issue? We have no idea. Rabbi Shmuley has no idea. Okay, so instead he assumes that, and then he's using it to raise money for himself. I mean, the reason, my guess as to why he hasn't raised any money is because, of course, the left's not going to give Rabbi Shmuley any money. Nobody in the middle is going to. But for the right, you look at it, you got to be even more disgusted than we are. So if you love Charlie Kirk, and then this Shmuley character pops up out of nowhere and goes, "Oh, he's dead. Now give me money." Oh, Jesus Christ, man. Have you no decency?
No decency. None at all. It's just, I guess you should just expect this from Rabbi Shmuley at this point.
Every time you ring the bell below.
Now you heard they said. Now when people like myself said we're called anti-Semitic. Now what did I tell y'all? He did the same thing when Michael Jackson. Didn't I tell y'all years ago? Didn't I tell y'all years ago about this dude? Even other Jewish folk say, "Yo, man, we don't stand with this dude." Everybody know he. But see, there's others like him, but he's the most obvious with it. Let me say this again. What happened to Charlie Kirk? Charlie Kirk brought it on himself, folks. I'm just gonna say what it is. You don't go out there preaching hate. You don't go out there manipulating people and don't think that shit don't come back. You create a monster, that monster will turn on you. Frankenstein monster turned on him, remember? Remember how the story went? Depending on which Hollywood version or you read the original book. Frankenstein monster turned on him. People like Rabbi Shmuley are the ones that keep this shit going. Charlie Kirk keep this shit going. Donald Trump keep this shit going. Ike Perlmutter was over at Disney, over at Marvel. The guy who over Wendy's, I gotta look this. I keep meaning to do a video about it. Because remember I told y'all, what's old boy that did was in Ferris Bueller, the Clear Eye commercial. Bueller. Ben Stein. Look what the ADL did. They defended Elon Musk when he gave the Nazi salute. But quick to call you anti-Semitic. This man, Rabbi Shmuley, has thrown shade at the black community for years, and he got away with it. But let me tell you, this shit that happened to Charlie Kirk is very enlightening. Because you're trying to see what people who are talking, who are coming out of the woodwork. And I told y'all, when people talk about we stand with black community, Black Lives Matter, George Floyd, and then you turn around and get sympathy to Charlie Kirk, who spent 5 years running along with Ben Shapiro, another one, slamming that man. These people have no conscience. They have no class. They have no tact. All it is about money. He want to raise how much money? And shit. But I told y'all, I keep telling y'all, let these motherfuckers talk long enough, they're gonna show you who they are. This is why we in the black community gotta stop jaw-jacking with each other, talking about petty shit. These motherfuckers are playing for keeps. These people are dangerous. I mean, he did the same thing he did to Michael Jackson. Bobby aiming cold out there. I need help. I need help. I need help. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We got a lot of work to do as human beings.